Merci, la séance est reprise.
Welcome back, and I'd like to restart the session.
Nous allons attaquer donc le point 9. C'est le mandat 2023-2027. Monsieur le secrétaire général, vous avez la parole.
Thank you, President. Welcome back, dear colleagues. We're moving to point 9 of the agenda, 9.1, appointment of the ethics panel. We have two panels, the ethics panel and the nominations panel, that are appointed by the Congress. And the reason for that is that the ethics panel's duties include controlling the central board and its members. Therefore, it cannot be appointed.
Por tanto, no el Buró Central.
Last term, we had five members, and we had applied for the first time a continental representation principle. We had
Con principio de representación.
continent at least.
Por tanto, un miembro por continente, por lo menos. Simplemente durante ese mandato, y fue después del Congreso de mitad de
Problems we had
intentar solucionar los problemas que iban surgiendo. Lamentablemente, tres de
Par conséquent, cette fois-ci, nous vous proposons 6 noms. C'est cela la différence par rapport à la dernière fois. Deuxième différence, conformément à notre stratégie pour le basket des femmes, c'est 2 membres et une femme. En tout cas, on proposera une femme sous réserve de votre approbation. Les membres de la commission ont fait l'objet d'une liste qui vous a été diffusée, qui figure dans vos documents de travail. Et je vais maintenant passer en revue les noms. Les 2 membres qui étaient déjà membres de la commission, M. Scott Darwin d'Australie, de la FIBA et membre honoraire de FIBA Océanie, ancien CEO et président.
War auch CEO und die Vorsitzende von Basketball.
And in addition, Mr. Saburo Kababuchi, who had been had a fundamental role in the revised governance of the Japanese Basketball Association and served as an ethics panel member over the last term, would be the other candidate. Then we have 4 more candidates. 2 of them are also present here in the room today. One is Ms. Celestine Ajanoun from Benin, an outgoing FIBA Central Board member and former president of the Benin National Federation, and with a long career in basketball as well as in representation in the level of politics, of local politics in her country, in several esteemed positions. The other member who is present here today is Mr. Ruperto Herrera from Cuba, an Olympic bronze medalist in basketball in 1972, honorary member of the FIBA Hall of Fame, excuse me. You will see also his name. Actually, you will see, I realized today, even a photo of Ruperto from his playing times in the Walk of Fame tonight, going to the Hall of Fame ceremony. And if you see him today, he still has the same excellent build, but we don't need him for that in the ethics panel. We need him for his ethical, always, and very statesman behavior in the long time he served FIBA in the Americas as well as at the world level. He has also received the Olympic merit of the IOC. The other 2 colleagues that are being proposed, a second woman, Ms. Carol Lellai, who is the outgoing Central Board member from Papua New Guinea, a lawyer by profession, and an athletes commission president for the Oceania region. So we also inject into into the panel a representation of athletes in that respect. And Mr. Koemans from Belgium, also a member for a long time of the Legal Commission of FIBA, of the Board of FIBA in Europe, of the FIBA Central Board, and former president of his federation, and also for a short period acting president of FIBA in Europe. These are the 6 names that we propose, Mr. President, to the FIBA Congress for approval as the ethics panel for the next 4 years.
Merci bien, Monsieur le Secrétaire Général. Vous avez entendu donc la
You've heard the proposal from the General Secretary for the ethics panel.
Est-ce qu'il y a des observations, des
Are
commentaires?
there any comments?
Merci bien, c'est adopté.
So that is approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next point.
Moving on to point 9.2 of the agenda, appointment of the nominations panel. The nominations panel is provided in our statutes to check the candidates, excuse me, to check the candidates for the various positions on the central board as well as in the zone boards. It reviews candidatures, it reviews the eligibility of candidates and proposes as well as has the ability to recommend. According to the statutes, the President and the Secretary General are ex officio members, and this is to be understood as the new incoming President and the Secretary General. So subject to later this election, there will be Sheikh Saud and myself. And the proposal is to be accompanied by the outgoing FIBA President, Mr. Niang, together with 2 honorary presidents, Mr. Elphinstone from Australia and Mr. Muratore from Argentina. And because we have a lot of work between January and May every 4 years in the nominations panel, plus at times we may have nationality conflict that we want to avoid for some of the candidates, we would propose also alternate members, Mr. U.C. Richards, member of the Central Board and long member of the FIBA Legal Commission and a treasurer of us in the Americas, Mr. Sam Ahmedou from Nigeria, also a long-standing member of the Legal Commission of FIBA and a board member in Africa, and Ms. Mabel Ching from Hong Kong, China, from former member of the Central Board and Legal Commission member and long-standing member of our family. So these are 5 plus 3 alternate, the proposed members that you have received also in your working papers and that we would submit for approval by the Congress.
Merci bien, Monsieur le Secrétaire Général.
Thank you, Mr. General Secretary.
Vous venez de prendre connaissance donc de
You
la
have
proposition
just heard a
concernant le
proposal
panel
regarding
nomination.
the
Est-ce qu'il y a des
appointment
commentaires?
of the nominations panel. Are there any comments, observations?
Merci bien, Monsieur le
Thank you.
Secrétaire Général. Ce panel aussi a été
That
adopté.
panel has also been approved. Thank you,
Well, point
Mr. General
suivant.
Secretary. Next item.
Thank you, President. Thank you for your support. We go now to the elections part, and under our statutes, we have to go through 3 chapters. One is President, the other is Treasurer, and the other is the Central Board members. And we start with the President. As you know, we have a rotation principle for the presidency of FIBA, and this is passing now from Africa to Asia. Before, however, I start, and I think it is customary, and we will do that at the end of this session, but before we start the election of the new Central Board, I would like to ask the Congress to express their appreciation together with mine to all the members of the Central Board that have served over the last 4 years with a round of applause, with a warm thank you to each and every one of you. So the president's position, according to the statutes, we were having eligible candidates only from Asia, and as it is also customary, the continent came to a consensus that was also verified not only in the General Assembly of FIBA in Asia in Kuala Lumpur, but it was also verified in the candidatures we have received. The only candidate that has been received in the Secretariat is the FIBA first Vice President, former FIBA Asia President for a number of years, President of his federation, as well as Vice President of his Olympic Committee. And subject to your approval, the new FIBA President for the term 23-27 will be Sheikh Saud Ali Al Thani from Qatar. And I think it's appropriate if Sheikh would like to address a few words to us.
Thank you. Thank you for this big honor. It's an honor to take over this big responsibility for me, for my country, Qatar, and for my continent of Asia. Many thanks to you, Amani. You have been a great president for our federation during very difficult times. It was a privilege to be your vice president. And now you are successor. Congratulations to the new central board, which will be selected of FIBA for their election. I am sure that we will have a very good celebration in this next 4 years. Thank you to all the National Federation for your trust. My colleagues and in Asia supported me for many years, and I am grateful. Now, I respond the interest for all 212 national federations of all 5 zones. I visited all the continents during the last month. Asia, of course, but also Africa, America, Europe, and Oceania. I need a lot and I want to learn more. I was also a president of federation and can understand your challenge. The basketball is global sport, and this is our most important strength. FIBA will help everyone to contribute, and our mission to make basketball the most popular sport community. Many of you in this room know me for many years. You know that I like the two facts to the development of basketball. We have approved a clear strategies to achieve this. So I can only make one promise today. I promise you that I will work hard with Andreas and with the centrals, with the central board for the good of basketball and for FIBA, because we are working for the best sport in our board. Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you all.
Merci beaucoup, President Sheikh.
Thank you very much, President Sheikh.
Bonne mission.
I hope that you are successful in your term of office.
Je suis persuadé que
And I am
Sheikh
convinced
a
that
toutes les
Sheikh
qualités
has
et
all
les
the
capacités
necessary
intellectuelles
qualities
et
as well as
professionnelles pour relever le
intellectual
défi
wherewithal in order
de la
to
confiance qu'on
meet
vient
the
de lui confier.
challenges and that he will merit the trust
Merci
we placed in
pour
him.
tous ceux qui ont contribué
Thank
à
you
ce que cette gouvernance
All of you who
continue.
have
Je l'avais
contributed
dit
to
dans
maintaining
mon entame
the governance we have
que
established.
la gouvernance de
I
la
was saying
FIBA
that the
est un
governance
produit qu'il
of
faut
FIBA is
jalousement
a
garder,
product
qu'il
which
faut
we need to
sécuriser.
guard and
Grâce
safeguard
à cette
jealously.
gouvernance, ça permet
Thanks
à
to
tous les
that
continents
governance,
d'être
all the continents within FIBA have
à
been
la
able
tête
to
de la
thrive.
FIBA, d'être à l'écoute
We have been
et
able
d'être
to listen
là
to
pour
your
accompagner
voices,
la promotion et
and
le
we
développement du
have helped
basketball. Je
to
suis
promote
convaincu
basketball
que
everywhere.
Sheikh
And I
résume
am
tout cela
convinced
et
that
qu'avec
Sheikh
lui,
has all the necessary qualities,
le basketball
and that with him,
ira encore
basketball
plus
will go
haut, plus
even
haut et plus
higher,
fort. Merci beaucoup.
further, stronger.
Andreas, vous avez
Thank
la
you.
parole pour
Andreas, you
continuer.
have the floor.
Thank you, President. Congratulations, Sheikh. And with that, I'm passing to the next point of the agenda, 9.2.3, the election of the FIBA Treasurer. We have received in the Secretariat one nomination for this position. Therefore, subject to your approval, the FIBA Treasurer for the term 2023-2027 will be Mr. Ingo Weiss from Germany. Congratulations, Ingo, for your re-election. I will now pass, dear colleagues, to the Central Board members' election. As you know, the rules of FIBA provide for 18 members that are coming through continental quotas. 5 of them are elected in the zone assemblies, and these are the 5 zone presidents. The other 13 members will be elected directly by you today. I would like to start by acknowledging, therefore, the ex officio membership into the FIBA Central Board of the 5 zone presidents as follows. First, the president of FIBA Africa, who was re-elected from Mozambique, Mr. Anibal Manave. Then, moving to the continent of the Americas, rotation principle, presidency goes to the south, and in an excellent assembly of FIBA in the Americas in Miami, the member federations of FIBA in the continent elected as the new FIBA Americas president, Fabian Borro from Argentina. In the FIBA Asia Assembly that was celebrated in Kuala Lumpur in May, we also had a change in the presidency, and since the Sheikh was nominated for the presidency of FIBA, and the national member federations of FIBA in Asia elected unanimously Dr. Govindraj from India. Continuing on the next continent, also in May, and as you can imagine, this was an interesting month for the President and myself in traveling terms, the General Assembly of the member federations in Europe elected as their President and ex officio Central Board member, therefore, for the term 2023-2027, Jorge Garbajosa from Spain. And last in my mention today, but first in terms of the election timing, as right after the draw here in Manila, we moved to Australia, where our regional office in Oceania has its seat. And the member federations of FIBA in Oceania elected for the next term, since Mr. Shipley, similarly to Mr. Demiral, were terming out after 2 terms. They elected for the next term as FIBA Oceania President, Mr. David Reid of Australia. So these are the 5 new colleagues, or 2 of them are new on the central board, but 5 colleagues that have been already elected, and their membership in the central board is confirmed today. Now we move to the election of the central board members, the 13 members according to the continental quotas that we have. And you have received in your working papers the list of candidatures. You also received the candidatures when they were closed from my office. The nominations were closed and after review of the nominations panel. So I will start with the continents of the Americas, where starting always by the women in basketball, the women of our board, the outgoing president of FIBA in the Americas is the only candidate for the female position of a central board member from the continent, long-standing director of the women's national team of USA, and a hard-working president over the last years. Help me in congratulating Ms. Carol Callan. Together with her, the continent of the Americas has reached a consensus in the nominations that I have received, obviously, and the 2 other members who are joining Ms. Callan are incumbent central board member Mr. U.C. Richards from Virgin Islands, as well as a new member of the central board. And for the new members, I will have to give a few more biographical information. Former national team member of his country, honorary president by now of his, president of his federation, honorary president of the Sport Institute of his country, and president of our Central American and Caribbean CONCACAF Association for the last year, and vice president of the Americas, Mr. Yamil Bukele from El Salvador. I'll move now to the continent of Asia. We have 2 candidates for the 2 positions, and both of them are incumbent central board members, well-known personalities, presidents of respective leading federations in terms of world rankings, as well as in organization of events. And these are the presidents of the Japan and Chinese, respectively, federations, Ms. Yuko Michuya and Mr. Yao Ming. I'll move now to the continent of Europe, where, similarly, we have received 4 candidatures for the 4 positions, and 2 of them are incumbent members of the central board, and 2 are new members. I will refer first to the members that are already in the board, and both of them very experienced from the European board already, and one returned as a president of her federation, and the other has been with us since the assemblies of FIBA in the late 80s. So please congratulate Ms. Carmen Tocala and Mr. Asterio Zois. We have 2 new colleagues that, subject to your approval, will become members of the central board. A president of a federation that has been progressing, I would say, with a geometrical level of progress over the last years, and reaching the European gold medal in the Eurobasket of 2017, and almost an Olympic medal. And I now, on record, I will apologize to him for using the Batum on Prepelic block in my presentation. An attorney by profession and former basketball player, Mr. Matej Erjavec, President of Slovenia Federation. And in this fourth position of the European representation on the Central Board, we have one of the most experienced, like Mr. Zois, sports basketball administrators of the European continent, former national team player, former referee, for many years commissioner, member of the Board of Europe when FIBA Europe was not FIBA Europe, was a standing conference of FIBA in Europe, and currently Vice President of the Norwegian Federation. Please welcome to the Central Board, Mr. Tor Christian Bakken. In the continent of Oceania, we have, similarly to the continent of the Americas, the outgoing president being endorsed by the members for membership in the Central Board. And although he has been unwell this morning and early afternoon, I hope he will join us tonight for dinner. And this means there is the re-election on the Central Board of Mr. Burton Shipley from New Zealand. And the female position of Oceania on the Central Board, we have one candidate for this position, a lady that has been working very hard in her federation with not as many means as other federations, and this is some voices that we need to have also on the Central Board. Former player, coach of her national team, FIBA licensed referee, and now Secretary General of the National Federation of Palau, Ms. Jubilee Quartaye. I will close with the continent of Africa, and there we have two positions. For the male candidate position, we have one candidate, and that is a federation president that has been not only working hard in his country, hard in the Central Board, but also has been in the forefront of the development activities of FIBA in Africa. That is Jean-Michel Ramarosson from Madagascar. And as notified to you in the candidatures document and in the working papers, for the female position of Central Board in Africa, the nominations panel has notified me that we have to make nominations by President, Secretary General, Treasurer, and the 5 zone presidents. And after consulting with all the above members, we are pleased to submit for your endorsement the membership into the Central Board of the Vice President of a federation that has organized a Continental Cup Women and Continental Cup Men, Continental Cup Finals 3 consecutive years in her country, a country that has become, as we said earlier, the theater of dreams of African basketball. That is Rwanda, and its Vice President, Ms. Pascal Mugwagiza. Pascal Mugwaneza. I will learn it to say it properly, otherwise I will be certainly on reprimand in Central Board meetings. Congratulations to all 13 members of the Central Board, and I would like to make a short comment that these last 10 minutes is equally a result of a democratic process as would have been a vote in the Congress, because In the continents, the members have very constructive discussions in the spirit of FIBA's governance, which is focusing on basketball rather than on the politics. We're always ready here to have, of course, a vote if we have more elections, but I have to say that I admired in all 5 continents how the discussion on these positions led to constructive discussions, to consensus, and focusing on what is our real job, our core business, developing basketball. So as I thanked the outgoing board, I would like to say that it will be a pleasure to join them in servicing you for the next 4 years. Congratulations to the FIBA Central Board 2023-2027, which will be complemented on the 9th of September by a few co-opted members, the NBA representative, and of course the players representative in its first meeting, the eve of the final. Thank you very much.
Merci bien, Monsieur le Secrétaire Général.
Thank you very much, Mr. General
Bienvenue
Secretary, and welcome to
aux
the
nouveaux membres
new
du Bureau
members of
central
the Central
de
Board.
FIBA. Nous partons au point 10.
We're on item 10 now.
Le point 10.1
10.1.
donne la parole à Monsieur Horacio Moratore,
Horacio
président de la
Moratore,
Fondation.
President of the Foundation.
Et Terren Bullock,
Gracias, presidente.
Thank you, President.
Estimados colegas,
Distinguished colleagues,
bueno, como dijo Ingo,
as Igo said,
que hay que tratar de hablarse en su lengua de madre.
he said that he would
Yo
speak
tengo
his
dos
own
lenguas
language.
madres, el
Well, I've
italiano
got,
y el
two
español.
mother tongues,
Pero
Italian and Spanish.
Para no causarle problemas
But I don't want to cause
a
too
las
many
personas que nos están ayudando mucho
problems
con la
to our
traducción,
interpreters,
y porque en realidad
and
llevo
also
hace ya casi 70 años que hablo
because
español.
I've been speaking
He dicho
Spanish
en
for about
español.
70
Voy a
years
hablar en
now.
español.
I think I'll stick to Spanish.
Bueno, presidir la Fundación FIBA durante los últimos
I've
4
chaired
años
the FIBA Foundation for the
ha
past
sido
4 years,
una
and
de
it's
las
been one of the
experiencias
most rewarding
más
experience
gratificantes que he tenido en la
of
vida.
my life.
Estar
To be
asociado a
associated with something
que va mucho
that
más
goes
allá del
well
juego
beyond just
ha
the
sido
game
uno de los
has been a great
sentimientos más
feeling,
grandes del mundo.
one of the best in the world.
Todos
We are all
los
of
que estamos
us,
acá,
all of us here.
tenemos
We
la
are
suerte de
very
estar asociados a
fortunate
nuestro
to
hermoso
be
deporte del
associated
baloncesto.
with our beautiful game, basketball.
Todos estamos de
We all
acuerdo
agree
y creemos
and we
que el
all believe
baloncesto es mucho
that
más
there is
que un
much
deporte.
more to basketball than
Es
just
una
a sport.
cultura.
It's a
Es un
culture,
estilo de
it's
vida.
an ethos, it's a way of
Pero con
life.
esta popularidad
But with this popularity, there
responsabilidad
comes
muy grande
responsibility, a great responsibility for
nosotros,
all
la
of us.
Fundación
And we,
FIBA,
the FIBA
llevamos
Foundation,
esta
we shoulder
responsabilidad
that responsibility,
con orgullo,
and we do so with pride.
trabajando
We
codo
work
a codo
side by
con
side
todos ustedes,
with all of you,
nuestras
our
212
212
federaciones
national
nacionales,
federations,
nuestros
our
socios,
partners,
nuestra familia,
our family,
para
so
usar
that
el
we
poder
can
del
use the power of
baloncesto
basketball
para el bien.
to do good.
La Fundación
The foundation
hace esto a través
does
de
this
dos pilares
on the basis of two basic pillars. First, the basketball heritage and basketball for good.
respecto al primer
Looking at that first pillar, the cultural heritage of basketball, our mission is to safeguard the history of basketball and to leave a legacy for future generations. And we wanted to act as the custodians of the Patrick Baumann House of Basketball as a place for the history, for the memories, and for the cultural heritage of our beloved sport. But we want to continue working with all of you by working to connect with the history of our sport in your respective country. And we want to work with you on that journey and be with you on that journey, no matter where you are on that journey today. We will see part of this tonight when we celebrate a new edition of the FIBA Hall of Fame. Turning to the second pillar, basketball for good, we're all aware of the subconscious benefits of sport, benefits you get when playing, be it time management, improved social skills, or better communication, and many more. These are part of the social benefits that basketball brings us. But within basketball for good, we aim to take a step further and make a conscious effort as to how basketball can help become part of the solution to the social issues we face around the world. We have been working in this for the past 4 years, and we've had an impact when 173 countries out of 212 countries. And we've done this working side by side with all of you, our respective national federations. Our goal now is to involve all national federations as we embark on this journey. We have to understand the local context and what is relevant locally, and that is key to all our Basketball for Good projects, as the only constant in all of this is basketball itself. But this also mixes with social issues that is relevant to the country or community where the project takes place. Basketball has the power to change the world, and we will continue to play our part little by little, step by step. We have produced a video that we believe encompasses all of this. Let's take a look. And here I would like to tell you who is working every day basketball, Erimboro. You have the floor. Perhaps you could run the video.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team.
Let's give opportunities to those who have never had them.
Let's convince those who never thought they'd do it that they can. We can.
We have the power to change lives through basketball.
Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together.
Basketball for good.
Distinguished guests, I will follow President Muratore's speech on why the foundation exists and everything that we stand for by giving a brief description on the two pillars that he mentioned. I will start off with the first one, cultural heritage, that we have divided now in 8 sections. Some of those include the Pedro Ferrandis Library, the largest library in the world dedicated to basketball, with over 40,000 books in close to 40 languages. The Naismith Arena, our museum. Both of these are located at the Patrick Baumann House of Basketball. If you have not yet visited it, we hope that you'll be able to do so in the very near future because it is your home. Also the Hall of Fame. We'll be inducting 12 new legends tonight. One of them might be on this stage. And we are very honored to be able to do so together with you. Some key achievements over the past 4 years includes exhibitions that we have done at the House of Basketball, Stepping Strong, tracing the history of sneakers from the existence of our sports in 1891 until today. Also 90 iconic moments, celebrating the 90th anniversary of FIBA, which also resulted in the 90 Years of FIBA book, which you all also received. Going forward in the next 4 years, some of the priorities that we have is to continue our annual photo contest, which every year has a different theme, and we always create a book that we send to all of you, including Hall of Famers in FIBA and FIBA Foundation activities, reconnecting with them and making sure that they stay part of the FIBA family, including our Hall of Famer that is here today, Ruperto Herrera. Also creating a community of basketball historians, and that allies also with all of you. All of you are at different stages of your journey of cultural heritage, but there is a very rich tradition of basketball, of our sport in your countries. We look forward to working with you and helping you and promoting with you along that journey of further enlarging the reach of cultural heritage globally. Now moving on to our second pillar, basketball for good, the soul of the foundation. We have now identified 3 different types of projects: mini basketball, community impact, and youth leadership. Some of the key achievements that we've had over the past 4 years includes adding a virtual component to our projects, which has allowed a hybrid format, at first due to COVID, but now we have seen that that can heavily increase the reach and the global movements of basketball for good. Also, our first externally funded project in the Seychelles, without leaving out our biggest FIBA Open edition to date, which also takes place at the House of Basketball. One of the biggest grassroots 3x3 tournaments in the world where everyone has a place to play, whether it's under 6, wheelchair basketball, Special Olympics, elites, over 40, everyone has a chance to play. Also, our youth leadership model that we have now implemented in all regions. These are young adults, young change makers, playing middlemen or middlewomen between their respective national federation and between FIBA and its foundation, helping to coordinate all Basketball for Good projects that are happening in their respective country, and we even had our first youth leader become president of her respective national federation. We have also created a new platform called Proposer Projects. This started in 2020 and since then has continued to grow. This is a way for us to further support all of our members, our family, all of you, to amplify the Basketball for Good in your countries by providing microgrants, equipment supports, and mentoring supports. There's been a significant increase in the amount of projects that we've been able to support, as well as the basketballs provided. And I will speak more in detail about this in tomorrow morning's FIBA Plus and Basketball for Good breakout session. Some quick facts on our impact the past 4 years. 173 national federations where Basketball for Good exists. 95,000 annual beneficiaries, a significant increase since 2019, and 49% female participation. Some priorities for the next 4 years: extending our Proposer Project platform, creating a Basketball for Good playbook, helping everyone understand what does it actually mean to implement a Basketball for Good project. Those 2 items, again, will be included in tomorrow morning's FIBA Plus and Basketball for Good breakout session. Furthering the social legacy of FIBA events, not only here like we are doing at the FIBA Basketball World Cup, where we are using basketball as a tool to improve recycling, but in all FIBA events that are happening on a global scale. And increasing our fundraising, hoping to have additional externally funded projects like the one that we currently have in the Seychelles. This tagline, Basketball for Good, there is a reason why FIBA nor the FIBA Foundation is associated to it, because we see it as an inclusive community. Anyone that is working using the power of basketball to create change is a part of this community. And there's a lot of power in this room. Each one of us, step by step, doing our respective parts, can help make the world a better place, using our sport as a platform and as a tool. And to conclude, I would like to thank the FIBA Foundation Board, our fundraising and Basketball for Good advisory committees, the entire FIBA Foundation staff, including our former director, Florian Vanninger, for everything that he has done for the FIBA Foundation, and most importantly, our president, Horacio Muratore, for his continuous guidance, supports, and mentoring over the last 4 years. Muchísimas gracias, Presidente. Un abrazo.
Merci bien, Horacio.
Thank you, Horacio.
Merci, Terem.
Thank you, Terem.
Merci bien. On continue le
We
point 10,
continue,
point
which
2.
is the next point, 10.2.
World Association
World
of Basketball
Association of
Coaches,
Basketball Coaches, WABC.
la WABC. Patrick Hans.
Patrick Hans.
President Haman Niang, Secretary General Andreas Zaglis, FIBA Honorary Presidents Bob Elphinston and Horacio Muratore, members of the Central Board, delegates, friends and colleagues of the FIBA family. It's an honor to be able to present a brief report on the activities of the World Association of Basketball Coaches during the last term. With the COVID-19 global pandemic during this term providing its challenges, The WABC was able to persevere with its work, and this brief presentation will outline some of our initiatives and achievements. My congratulations to President Herman Yang and Secretary General Andrea Zaglis for their positive leadership in guiding us through this pandemic and the level of activity by our basketball community around the world, which was unparalleled. Responding to the many requests for federations regarding having a resource, the World Association of Basketball Coaches produced a series of coaching programs for those coaches wishing to start out in basketball. As mentioned before, this was at the request of many federations from around the world. This is designed to empower federations to deliver this program for themselves within their own communities. And the resources are online and available to all federations to download and support this initiative. The WABC produced a coach workbook, activities book, practice plans and a facilitator handbook empowering federations to take up this program for all those who may be interested in beginning coaching. In a first and in collaboration with the NBA and WNBA, the WABC produced the FIBA Analytics Report in 2020. This extensive report analyses performances at FIBA World events, including women, men, junior women and junior men for 10 years from 2008 to 2018. It includes performance analysis of the NBA and WNBA, allowing for a comparative analysis of NBA and WNBA and FIBA men and women performances. The data for the NBA was adjusted to be compatible with the FIBA timing of games. Our thanks to the NBA for their cooperation with this initiative. As mentioned previously, COVID-19 presented its challenges. To support the global coaching community during this time and also help them remain connected, the WABC produced a series of feature coaching clinics from its library of resources, which was streamlined on the WABC Facebook and FIBA YouTube channel. Supporting women in basketball, 12 of these clinics were presented by female coaches. These streamed clinics were an outstanding success and were extremely well received, with more than 250,000 views and an audience reach of over 800,000. To continuously strive to improve the quality and capacity of coaches, it's vital for us to consistently upgrade the standard of coach instructors. Coach instructors courses were conducted in Africa in French and English, and in Asia, with the first ever instructors course for female instructors being held in Dubai, with participants coming from Europe, Asia and Oceania. We also needed to create a larger cohort of instructors and coaches of coach instructors for this purpose. A course was conducted over 3 days with participants from Europe, Asia, Africa, the Americas and Oceania, so we were able to spread the word worldwide. In addition, more than 120 courses, considering COVID, Level 1 courses have been conducted, and since their launch in 2021, 37 of the new Start Coaching programs have been conducted. The first Level 2 instructors course was held in Dubai this year, with plans to roll out the Level 2 later this year. As mentioned previously, supporting women in basketball, we had many initiatives to support one of these main strategic pillars of FIBA. The first ever instructors course, of course, was in Dubai for female instructors. A coaching clinic focusing on coaching females was conducted at the FIBA Women's World Cup in Sydney, Australia last year by leading presenters, 2 of which were Hall of Famers in the FIBA Hall of Fame. This was extremely well attended with over 100 coaches attending. 12 female coaching courses, as mentioned before, were streamed as part of the WABC feature coaching clinics, and in partnership with Basketball Australia, a coaching clinic for female coaches was conducted on the Gold Coast in Australia. Over 2 days, a coaching forum was conducted at the FIBA Under-19 Women's World Cup in Madrid, Spain, with an emphasis on coaching females from 17 to 23 years of age. During this term, the WABC has collaborated extensively with the FIBA Refereeing Department. The FIBA Refereeing Department conducts courses for FIBA referee instructors called the FIBA Referees Instructors Program, or the acronym of FRIP. Excuse me. Designed to enhance the referee's knowledge and understanding of strategies, tactics, coaching and playing styles, the WABC designed a one-day module to deliver at FRIP training courses to enhance this basketball knowledge. To support this module, the WABC conducted a 2-day training course for coach instructors, enabling them to deliver more effectively this workshop of basketball knowledge at FRIP workshops. The WABC also, at the request of the FIBA Refereeing Department, updated the material for their home study packages regarding this course for level 1 and 2, and produced an instructional video for the presenters to present on court. The WABC also collaborated with the FIBA Refereeing Department to design an instructional video explaining the travelling rule and its interpretations, and also, as the rule changes were made throughout 2020, 21 and 22, produced a webinar for coaches to explain changes to the official basketball rules. My thanks to Carl Jungerbrand and the FIBA Refereeing Department for their extensive collaboration with all these activities and initiatives. As mentioned before by Secretary-General Andreas Zaglis, Basketball Without Borders is FIBA and the NBA's global development and community outreach program. It brings together elite players, boys and girls, aged 17 to 19 years of age, to learn the game from world-class players and coaches. FIBA and the WABC has a presence at all the Basketball Without Borders camps conducted in USA, Europe, Asia, the Americas and Africa, providing guidance, support and leadership. Coaches clinics by NBA, WNBA and FIBA coaches are conducted at each camp, are coordinated by the WABC, filmed and form content for the WABC library. As has been mentioned previously, the NBA and WABC and FIBA collaborated to produce the FIBA Analytics Report previously. My thanks to the NBA and Mark Tatum, particular thanks to you. If you could pass on our thanks to Troy Justice and Chris Ebersol and all at the International Department of the NBA. There have been many other collaborations on initiatives which have enabled positive opportunities for coaches, some of which include the International School Sport Federation, ISF. We collaborated to conduct a virtual webinar for sports teachers and organise start coaching programs to be delivered during the Under-15 Gymnasiad, a multi-sport event which will be conducted in August this year in Brazil. The WABC also provided opportunities for the participation of 39 coaches in programs supported by the Olympic Solidarity Program. Also provided 31 coaches with scholarships through the ICAB, the International Coaching Apprenticeships in Basketball Program, in conjunction with the USA Olympic Committee and Paralympic Committee, University of Delaware and Olympic Solidarity. At the invitation of the Secretary-General, Andreas Zaglis, I was invited to chair a working group consisting of 3x3 coaches, players and referees, and coordinate a resource for teams to prepare for 3x3 FIBA competitions. This was at the request again of many federations who were going to engage in playing 3x3 basketball. This resource is now available and from the 3x3 department at FIBA, and a particularly valuable resource for people to expand their knowledge and understanding of this tremendous and dynamic part of our sport. The WABC also provided input to the FIBA Technical Commission through its advisory committee, for which it's been a tremendously effective group over the last term. It's been an honour and a privilege to humbly serve as President of the WABC for this current term and assist FIBA to implement and support their strategic pillars, particularly empowering federations, women in basketball and growing our wonderful sport. My thanks to all you here and the 212 member national federations of FIBA, all the FIBA regional officers, their staff and support, for your excellent cooperation and support for the delivery of WABC coaching, instructors courses, start coaching and Olympic solidarity programs and coaching clinics. My thanks also, and if you could pass on my thanks to the thousands of volunteers who provide support to our players from each of your federation. These are a tremendously valuable resource which we value tremendously. Thanks to the WABC Executive Committee, Advisory Committee and working groups for their dedicated work, positive involvement and commitment. Many thanks to all at FIBA, particularly the National Federations and Sport Department led by Zoran Radovic and the staff which I'll mention, Florian Pasquet, Aurelie Vido, Javier Desayas and Costa Iliev, and John Guac, who has now moved on to the FIBA Champions League. Your work and collaboration continually enhances our work. My sincere thanks to President Haman Niang for his support and guidance, and most generous support and guidance from Secretary General Andrea Zaglis, and the opportunity to serve as President of the FIBA WABC. The WABC looks forward with all of you to continuing the challenge of raising the standards of our wonderful game worldwide, through raising the standard of those who teach the game, the coaches. My grateful appreciation and thanks to you all. Salamat Po. Thank you very much.
Merci bien, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick. Next point.
La Fédération internationale de basketball en fauteuil roulant.
We've got Wheelchair Basketball Federation.
Merens, Président.
The President of the IWBF, please.
Okay.
Good afternoon, President, Andreas, members of FIBA, friends and colleagues. On behalf of the International Wheelchair Basketball Federation, IWBF, I would like to say it's a great privilege to have been invited to attend the FIBA World Congress and be given the opportunity to speak to you all. The sporting world has faced some challenging times since I stood in front of you 4 years ago. We have the mechanism to help through the purpose of good, transforming lives, breaking down barriers, and bringing communities together. For IWF, we have continued to grow as a sport, and now we stand for 109 members across the globe with an exponential growth in the Africa zone, which is wonderful for us. We have embarked on some significance. Establish the basic IWF Players Commission to give players a platform and embed a common voice of the athletes, bring it into the governance of wheelchair basketball. Commence on our 3x3 journey with the first ever major World 3x3 international tournament. Delivering a full competition schedule including 3 successful World Championships, under 23, under 25, and senior men's and women's. Further, intensified our relationship with FIBA. The cooperation between FIBA and IWF has continued to strengthen. Following the change of IWF from bringing a UK-registered company to a registered association in Switzerland with headquarters being in the Patrick Baumann House of Basketball. We're delighted to have been able to welcome FIBA Secretary General Andreas Sackling as a voting member of the IWF Executive Council following our own World Congress in June 23. A pleasure for me to join the board of International Basketball Foundation. Our working practices go hand in hand also on an experiment level. FIBA now holds the exclusive license for the commercial rights of IWF for the next 4-year cycle to assist in the marketing of sports. The integration had not only been seen between the two federations, but at event level, our athletes and our members. The slogan, "We are basketball," are meaningful words that lift on all levels. The main example was the Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games. The event saw the first ever successful integrated international 3x3 basketball and 3x3 wheelchair basketball program, which was run in great cooperation with the FIBA 3x3 team. Thank you for that. The combination of 3x6 basketball and 3x3 wheelchair basketball played in a parallel at the same venue offers a truly unique, all-exclusive explosion, as you can see here. Wonderful days. IWF has approached 3x3 as an incredibly important innovation in our evolution for a number of reasons. Another discipline for our athletes to demonstrate their skills. Another competitive opportunity at multi-sport games such as the Commonwealth Games and hopefully the Paralympics Games in the future. To support smaller nations to qualify major world competitions and win medals, and to increase the exposure and marketability of wheelchair basketball. Being part of the family, the basketball family, is very important to us, and this is integrated into our future plans. We are in the progress of creating a global strategy, helping to build a subscriptional main platform to grow the sports over the next 10 years. A strategic priority for IWF is to increase and develop the women's game across the world. In October, IWF will host the largest ever IWF Women's Under-25 World Championship in Bangkok, with 10 teams confirmed, a 20% increase on any of the previous editions. A full competition schedule awaits on the road to the Paris 2024 program into the Paralympic Games. It includes a zonal championships in each of IWF's 4 zones and the first ever IWF repeat charge tournaments for both men and women to determine the final qualification for Paris 2024. 5x6 wheelchair basketball was confirmed as part of the Los Angeles program 2028. That means wheelchair basketball has been featured every Olympic Games since Rome 1960, and Los Angeles will be our 18th Games. We believe IWF is well positioned for the future in terms of content and ambitions to hope to continue not only grow up the sports of wheelchair basketball, but to be able to play its part in making basketball the most popular sport in the world. To finish on, share a reflection of our most pinnacle event in the wheelchair basketball calendar, which took place this June 23 in Dubai, the postponed 2022 World Championships. This picture can say more than 1,000 words. I would like to leave with these impressions and thank you for all your time.
In Dubai, 28 teams came together for the IWBF World Championships, connected by their passion for wheelchair basketball. The games were intense as players overcame their disabilities, showing skill and determination. Tears of happiness and sadness mixed, representing the triumph of the human spirit. The final match brought the arena to life, declaring champions who gave their all. These 12 days proved that sports break barriers and inspire dreams that last forever.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ulf. And I want to take the opportunity to say two things in relation to your report regarding our wheelchair basketball friends. We are 212 members in FIBA, and if you look at the list of the IWBF members, you will see that at least 80 of them are national member federations of FIBA. So many of you have under the same roof the Olympic and the Paralympic sport. Therefore, it is only natural that we work more closely together. Secondly, there is an international tendency for the International Olympic Federation to take, in some sports at least, over also the Paralympic side. We have chosen a different way of working together, a way that confirms FIBA's continuous support, because unlike the Olympics, where international federations receive serious financing from the IOC, in the Paralympic movement, our colleagues of the IWBF receive a significantly smaller contribution from the IPC. Therefore, our support to them on the international level is fundamental, and the Central Board is very committed. And we would like to encourage you also on your national level to bring closer to you the wheelchair basketball family, to do more events together. We are one of the few Paralympic sports that can be played without any change of equipment on the same venue, with the same balls, with the same backstops. We just take away the chairs from the bench because our colleagues in wheelchairs are coming to play. So in Birmingham, we had the perfect exhibition of how we can be together, as you saw. The games were one after the other. 3x3, 3x3 wheelchair, 3x3 running, 3x3 wheelchair. All the sessions sold out. And this is one more example of how we can do more things together. We're pleased to have you, Ulf, on the foundation, and thank you again for having us represented on your executive council. Your work will certainly be rewarded in the future, also acknowledged appropriately at the IPC level, with an increase again, reinstatement of the quota of the teams for the Paralympics. Thank you again and congratulations.
Merci bien, Ulf.
Thank you very much, Ulf.
Nous allons maintenant
What we will now do
dernier point de ce rapport.
is go on to the last point
C'est
of
la
these
Fédération
reports,
internationale
which
de basketball
is
des sourds,
the Deaf International Basketball Federation,
DIBF.
the
Monsieur Jürgen
DIBF.
Andres.
Mr. Jürgen Andres,
S'il vous plaît.
you have the floor.
Avec interprète, s'il vous plaît.
Greetings to you all. You can see that I'm waving my hands. It's a visual applause for the deaf community because we cannot hear. So this is our applause. Distinguished delegates, the FIBA Central Board, the DIBF President and the General Secretariat send their greetings to the new selected board. I will keep this brief. I'll just give you a brief summary of the activities that we've done the last 4 years, and I will just highlight what we've done. In the last 4 years, we've had big challenges, as you all know, during COVID. There was a lot of postponements, cancellations, but behind the scenes, we were still working very hard. But as you know, basketball still existed. This is the Central Board. We have 5 members, and then the 4 zones. So they've worked 4 years for deaf basketball around the world. We have 4 zones of DIBF. So we have DIBF and then 4. And I want to thank FIBA and also FIBA Executive Director. We would love to see more contact and communication down the road. As you know, the 4 zones are there. They're all set up, they're planning their strategic plans, and we'd like to work closely with you in the next 4 years. So after this Congress, we hope that we can have some sort of exchange and tee up the 4 zones. Deaf basketball, we've never just had one basketball event. We have a new event, and that's the 3x3, and it was played in Israel. So we had the World Cup. The organising was excellent. We had men and women playing. And the 3-on-3, we had DIBF and our 20-year celebration. So we celebrated this in the one place. So I'll just show you a short video now. So as you can see, they're all deaf players. And I remember 4 years ago, I showed you a photo slide of how deaf players play. So here's another video that you can actually see. The level is quite high. 3-on-3 is quite new, and it's moving on to higher levels. Here's the ranking for the women and men. So we have Poland, and for the men, as you can see, the winners. One of our flagships is the World Championships, and we just recently had it in Greece. The organising was outstanding. We had 24 teams, and there were qualifying rounds as well, so it was men and women who were in the competition. The rankings here, we have women, USA, and the men, we also had USA. It was actually quite a very close, the actual competition was very close. And it's not only basketball itself, we have administration. So we have to look at development and think about youth camps. We have that on a yearly basis. So we go to different countries around the world, and we're looking at deaf kids playing basketball. This photo was taken in Germany. And as I said at the start, I'm just showing some photo highlights here, and this is one of them. These camps are very important to us because we're able to select young players for their national teams. So this is for the national teams, but also for 3-on-3. So it's a really good opportunity for us. Is it only youth? No. We also have referees. We have seminars for them. So these are all deaf referees, and they're no different from any other referees that you see around the world. And this was held, this seminar, in Poland, and we had the support from FIBA, and we had an instructor come along and do the training. So that way they got their certification. And we also have development training in various countries. Those who are wanting to establish teams, clubs, or an association, so they get in touch with DIBF and we come out and do some training. And I ask all of you here, the national members, you all have the experience, you have the skill set, you have the people and the resources. Please get in contact and communicate with the deaf associations in your country because we're here ready to help. We now have our new board. We've got 2 women, I'm happy to say, on the board, which is fantastic. And we have our own website, dibf.org. And we also have our social media places on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So you can always go there. And we also have videos, but it's all in international sign. So for the next 4 years, what do we have planned? We have many programs that are organised, but in 2024, we're actually looking at organising the World Cup on 3-on-3, and it's also the World Cup for under 21, and also the World Championships. And we also have our main celebration, where all the federations come together. And if you are interested, we're actually going to be together for 1 week, and we're hoping that the National Federation can work with the National Deaf Basketball Federation. So if you're interested in hosting, if you'd like to bid, please get in contact with us. And in development, this is our priority, and also seminars. You can see the country names here. Like in 2024, West Africa, we have Senegal, Mali, Ghana, Nigeria. These are some examples. And then in 2025 and in 2026, these are the countries. I'm hoping to be in contact with you in the next few days because many of the deaf federations have many deaf players, but they're not able to get into competition. They've been left out, and so I think this is a good opportunity to meet out, and hopefully you can support us on this. And lastly, to close, to FIBA, a big thank you for all the support, the communication, the liaison. Just a few weeks ago, we signed an MOU so that we can collaborate on future events. So I thank Andreas, the Secretary General, thank you for all your communication, and also the Development Director, Zoran, for the liaison that we've had. So thank you so much, it's much appreciated. And lastly, thank you to the FIBA family. Thank you.
Merci, Jürgen.
Thank you, Jürgen.
Bien. On va au point 11.
Item 11 now.
Honneur et prix de la FIBA.
Honours and awards.
Mais on va commencer par le 11.2.
We'll start with
Prix de la
11.2.
FIBA.
FIBA awards.
Nous avons le plaisir donc
We have the pleasure to
d'accueillir
welcome
Ariel Chambers qui va
Ariel Chambers,
présenter
who is going to
les récompenses pour les
present the
fédérations
awards
nationales.
for the national federations.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Ari Chambers, and it is my honor to be with you all today and be a part of FIBA's Congress. It's time for FIBA award ceremony. Who's excited? I like feedback. Yes. We're now going to celebrate the national federations who have achieved great milestones over the past 2 years. We will be presenting 9 official awards today to our national federation members across different categories. The awards will be presented by FIBA President Haman Nyang and Secretary General Andreas Zaklis. So, let's get started. Our first award today is for the best national federations in basketball. The awards will go to the top 3 national federations as of July 1st, based on the FIBA World Ranking presented by Nike. This award is given to in 4 categories: girls, boys, women, and men. I ask that the president or the representative for each national federation called to please come on stage and accept the award. So, let's begin with the girls, and in 3rd place, we have Australia. Australia were the 2022 Under-18 Women's Asian Champions. In 2023, they won the Under-16 Women's Asia Championship for the 3rd time in a row. Second place goes to France. In 2022, they were the Under-16 European Champions, 3rd at the Under-18 European Championship, and finished 3rd at the FIBA Under-17 Basketball World Cup. And in 1st place, the National Federation Award for Girls is USA. The USA continued their winning streak by winning the Under-17 Women's Basketball World Cup in 2022, and most recently the Under-19 Women's Basketball World Cup in Spain this year. Congratulations to these federations. Now let's move on to the boys. And in 3rd place for the National Federations Award for boys goes to France. In 2023, France finished 2nd at the FIBA Under-19 World Cup. They also grabbed 3rd place for the FIBA Under-17 World Cup in 2022. And in 2nd place, we have Spain. The Spanish boys are the current Under-19 World Champions. In 2023, they won the Under-16 European Championships. And for 1st place for the National Federation Award for Boys, it is USA. The USA claimed the 1st place in the Under-17 Basketball World Cup in 2022 and came in 4th at the recent Under-19 World Cup played in Hungary. Next up, we have top 3 national federations for women. And in 3rd place, we have Australia. Australia got 3rd place at the 2022 FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup and finished 3rd place this year in the Asia Cup. 2nd place, we have China. China is the winner of the Asia Cup and obtained an amazing 2nd place at the 2022 FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup. All the different directions. In first place is the USA. The USA claimed their fourth consecutive FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup title in Sydney in 2022 and claimed second place at FIBA America played last month in Mexico. And lastly for this category, the men. In third place, the award goes to Australia. Third place at the Tokyo Olympics, Asia Cup winner and the Boomers are ready to take up the challenge for a first World Cup podium. And coming in second place is the USA. Current Olympic champion, the 2010 and 2014 world champions are looking to be the first team ever to win 6 World Cups. And in the first place spot for the National Federation Award for Men this year, it is Spain. Spain are the current world champions and will be looking to defend their title at this year's World Cup. They're also the current Eurobasket champions, claiming their title at last year's event. Congratulations to all these national federations. Okay, so we move to the other side of the stage because we will now reward the most improved team from 2021 to 2023. This award goes to the top 3 national federations that made the most ranking progress over the past 2 years from the midterm Congress in June 2021 to July 1st this year. We have the same 4 categories, you already know. For the most improved team for girls, in third place, we actually have a 3-way tie between Portugal, Tanzania, and Samoa, but unfortunately, they are not able to join us today. We can still clap for them. And in second place, also not able to join us today, is Uganda. And in first place, the most improved girls team is Slovenia. Slovenia won the FIBA Under-18 Women's European Championship in 2023 with their maiden title just 12 months on from winning the Division B tournament. Now let's move on to the boys. Receiving third place for most improved boys team from 2021 to 2023 is Denmark. Denmark's also unfortunately not with us today, but we'll make sure that the award goes right to them. But second place is Mexico. 6th at the Under-18 America's Championship in 2022. Mexico finished 3rd at the Under-15 Central Basket Championship. And in first place for boys' most improved team is Poland. Poland secured a top 10 finish at the FIBA Under-16 European Championship for the first time since 2022. Now it's time to continue with the most improved women. In third place is Norway. That's right, claim your award. Norway came in second place in the European Championship for small countries in 2022. And second place is Guatemala. Guatemala finished 6th at the 2022 Central American Women's Championship. And in first place for the women's most improved team for 2021 to 2023 is Jordan. Jordan has just played in the FIBA Women's Asia Cup Division B and finished 4th overall. And now for the men. In third place today is Cape Verde. They'll be making history, actually, when they play in the FIBA Basketball World Cup for the first time ever in a couple of days. They're actually also the smallest nation to qualify for the event, and they also took 4th place at the last Afro Basket. In second place is South Sudan. They'll also be playing their first ever FIBA Basketball World Cup this year here in Manila. Thanks to an 11-1 record in the FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifiers, South Sudan qualified for their first ever FIBA Basketball World Cup. And the winner of the most improved team for 2021 to 2023 is Guinea. Guinea came in 8th at the FIBA AfroBasket in 2021 and played in the second round of the World Cup in 2023 of African qualifiers. It's now time to jump to 3x3 with FIBA World Ranking 3x3 Combined Award for 2021 to 2023. This award goes to the top 3 FIBA's 3x3 National Federation team as of July 1st, 2023 for both men and women teams. We will once again welcome the representatives of the national federations to the stage to accept their awards. In third place, we have China. China ranked 5th for men. It's the first Asian team in this ranking, 1st for women, 4th for the under 23 men, and 1st for under 23 women. In second place is France. France ranked 6th for men, 2nd for women, 1st for under 23 men, and 2nd for under 23 women. And the winner of the FIBA World Ranking 3x3 Combined Award for 2021 to 2023 is the USA. USA women won FIBA 3x3 World Cup 2023 this year in Austria, while the men claimed 2nd place at the same event. Continuing with our 3x3, the next award is the 3x3 Combined Most Improved National Federation from 2021 to 2023. This is awarded to the top 3 national federations that make the most important rankings progress. In third place, Qatar. Qatar reached the 26th rank in the combined ranking and 4th combined ranking in Asia. And in second place, we have Austria. Austria are the 13th in combined ranking, 11th in men, and 19th in women. The 3x3 combined most improved national federation from 2021 to 2023 is Lithuania. Lithuania's national teams both played at the FIBA 3x3 World Cup in 2023. The men placed 4th in FIBA Europe Cup last year and the women 6th. This next one's a fun one. So let's move on now to most engaged national federation on social media. It's awarded to the national federation that has the most engagement combined across all social media platforms. And in third place, we have Italy. And second place is awarded to France. Most engaged national federation on social media is Argentina. Argentina takes the crown with 15.6 million engagements, demonstrating the immense passion of basketball fans in this part of the world. Yeah, clap that up. The next award is also a digital award. It's recognizing the top 3 national federations with the largest growth of social media followers across all channels as a percentage of their overall following. For this award, we took 100,000 followers as a minimum qualifying threshold. In third place, Madagascar. Coming in second place is Venezuela. And the #1 national federation with the biggest social media improvements in 2021 to 2023 is South Sudan. While South Sudan has highlighted their remarkable progress on and off the court by more than tripling their social media fan base during the term, we expect this will go even further in the heights of the next 2 weeks. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we still have to shift our attention to the Basketball for Good Awards. Today, we have 3 Basketball for Good awards to give out, granted by the FIBA Foundation. The first is the Mini Basketball Award. This award goes to the National Federation with the most outstanding commitment toward the development of mini basketball within their country. And today, that is Mauritania. Mauritania has demonstrated a strong commitment towards mini basketball by hosting the African Mini Basketball Convention with 20 participating national federations in their country. More than 400 children were given the chance to engage in fun, game-based activities. The next Basketball for Good award is the Youth Leadership Award. The Youth Leadership Award is honoring the National Federation with the most outstanding impact and engagement of youth leaders within their country. And the winner is Greece! Greece has demonstrated a strong dedication towards the prioritization of basketball for good within their national federation structure and the appointment of a youth leader to take on this responsibility and further drive this movement forward. Ladies and gentlemen, the third Basketball for Good award, the Community Impact Award. It recognizes the National Federation with the most outstanding participation and engagement for using basketball to impact the local community within their country. The Community Impact Award goes to Seychelles. Seychelles have successfully been implementing the Hoops for Health project over the last 2 years, promoting health and nutritious education through basketballs within all primary and secondary schools, as well as broader community. And ladies and gentlemen, we are now at the final category for our awards ceremony today. And this one is really, really special. The Presidential Award. So Mr. President, I now invite you to personally award these. The FIBA's President's Award is selected by the FIBA President himself and is awarded to the leader of a national federation, one from each continent, and is a recognition of their work, commitment, and positive impact on basketball made by the person and their national federation during the last 5 years. Talk about commitment, okay? FIBA President has selected and will present one award per region. So let's start with Africa.
Africa, President Desiré Mugiwaza, de Rwanda.
Congratulations to you. And now the next award is for the Americas. Mr. President.
America, Ricardo Vairo, Uruguay.
Congratulations to you. The third region to receive the President's Award is Asia.
Asie, Eric Thohir, Indonesia.
Next now is the region of Europe.
Europe, Amiram Alevi, Israel.
Gentlemen, the final region to receive the President's Award today is Oceania.
Oceanie, Loan, Navalura, Fiji.
Congratulations to Fiji. They have won the last award of this Congress. We will ask all 5 winners to join the President on stage for a nice group picture. We love a group picture moment. We do. I feel like a clap is necessary here, maybe like a little, yeah, okay. Congratulations to everyone today who has been recognized for their achievements, and that now concludes the awards ceremony. Thank you, everyone. It has been my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Merci. On revient maintenant
you.
au point
We're
11.1.
back to 11.1 now.
FIBA Honors. Je donne la
FIBA
parole
Honors.
à Andreas.
Andres, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, President. And as we come to the close of our Congress today, I have the pleasure of presenting to the Congress in unanimous proposal of the Central Board to award the FIBA Order of Merit to an exceptional contributor to our sport. Currently serving as Chairman Emeritus of the National Basketball Federation of Philippines, educated in a famous basketball-loving high school and equally famous basketball-loving college of Ateneo. Studied economics, did his MBA in the US in the Wharton School of University of Pennsylvania, came back to the Philippines, became one of the most successful businessmen, having chaired and acted as CEO of more than 15 top-level companies in his country, as well as in the broader Southeast Asia region and outside. A man who managed to make sure that his success in business transcends into his beloved sport of basketball. Having been raised in a basketball-loving family where both his parents played the sport, he played the sport, and having had the opportunity through his business success to be involved in the sport, he owned a number of PBA clubs for a number of years, supporting actively the basketball activity in the Philippines. And then, in the mid-2000s, he spearheaded the governance overhaul of Filipino basketball in moments of crisis for it, and took it from that governance crisis to hosting today not only the FIBA Congress, but also the FIBA Basketball World Cup group and final phase, and bringing what was his objective from the very beginning, the beloved sport of the Filipinos here with the biggest stars of the sport, giving everyone in his country opportunities through the MVP Sports Foundation, through the leadership he managed to bring with one of the oldest professional leagues of the world in PBA, coming together and under the federation as an example of league and federation coexistence and collaboration for a number of years that he acted as chairman of the SBP, as the name is, of our local national member federation. He joined the Central Board 9 years ago on the invitation of late Patrick Baumann and with unanimous approval of his Central Board peers. His his incredible will to bring international events of FIBA back into Philippines did not succeed with the first attempt, but Philippines did organize the Olympic qualification tournament in 2016 and won the trust of the members of the Central Board, together with Indonesia and Japan, in the vote of the Central Board in December 2017. He has been a supporter of a number of FIBA initiatives, donor of the foundation, and a big endorser of new technologies in sport, having lived himself through the technology transformation of his own companies. He was one of the first who raised their hand in the Central Board in Beijing in 2019 and said, we need to bring esports into FIBA, to the surprise of everyone. And of course, Philippines was one of the first federations that came on board in that process, leading the traditional aspects of our sport as well as the transformational aspects of our sport. A man who has a distinguished career of commitment, of loyalty to our sport, and of course, of a contribution that it's very difficult for anyone else to match. Therefore, it is a pleasure and an honor to present on behalf of the Central Board, together with our President, in front of the entire FIBA membership assembled today in Manila, the FIBA Order of Merit to Mr. Manuel V. Pangilinan.
Thank you, Mr. Zaklis, for your generous words. Outgoing President Mr. Hamane Niang, incoming President Sheikh Saud Al Thani, Secretary General Andreas Zaklis, Mr. Ingo Weiss, friends from FIBA. I would like first to thank the FIBA family for this singular honor. I received this award on behalf of many of us who have worked to nurture the sport of basketball in my country. My colleagues at the Samaang Basketball ng Pilipinas, the Philippine Basketball Association, our local players, but most importantly, the millions of local basketball fans who will prove in the coming days why they are the craziest bunch, but also one of the board's best. This recognition belongs to all of us, so I am a mere trustee receiving this honor in their name. But let me tell you that our relationship with FIBA, which I started 16 years ago, actually took off on the wrong foot. I made my first visit to the FIBA headquarters when it was located near the Geneva Airport in January of 2007, in the teeth of a storm brewing in the Northern Sea. Our plane ride to Frankfurt was turbulent, and the connecting flight to Geneva was hellish. And the reception given to us was frostier than the weather outside. Understandably so, because Philippine basketball was acrimoniously divided then, and we were suspended by FIBA at that time. But over time, we managed to defrost this cold start, and eventually that relationship leveled up into a warm and personal quality. At first with the late Mr. Patrick Bowman, and now with Mr. Andreas Zaklis. We've also engaged well with the past presidents of FIBA, with Mr. Ivan Mainini, Senor Horacio Muratore, and now Mr. Hamane Niang. Finally, let me just say that this is my last official act with the FIBA Central Board. It was a distinct privilege to have served in your board and a unique learning experience for me. I depart knowing that my seat will be better served by a younger, dynamic person and my exit does not mean the end of our basketball engagement with FIBA. Quite the contrary, I assure you that SBP and myself will remain energetic supporters and devout evangelists of FIBA. We are your teammates for life, and we will pursue our work together to win for all. I hope to see you in future meetings when I join the FIBA Foundation. And finally, as the Romans of antiquity would say when they take their leave of each other, 3 words, Ave atque vale. Hail and farewell. Again, thank you so much. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay. Thank you.
And this is the moment that I have to break protocol and take the word without the permission of my president, because I want to say a few words about him. I want to say a few words about Haman on behalf of the entire Central Board that gave him yesterday its warmest applause of appreciation. We've been fortunate over the last 4 years to have a leader who came ready from a long basketball career, a leader who, contrary to many others that have basketball administrator career and political careers, it was not the politics that brought him to basketball, but it was his success as Basketball Federation President of Mali that brought him into politics and brought him to the level of being Minister of Sport and then Minister of Culture in his motherland. A man who not only won under his supervision with his female national team Afrobasket, but also won the trust of his peers in Africa and served a term as FIBA Africa President and first Vice President of FIBA. A man who had the challenge in his FIBA times to live through difficult times, both as first Vice President with the passing of Patrick Baumann, where he, together with Horacio Muratore and Ingo Weiss, led the process of succession, as well as in his capacity as president, having to deal with a pandemic, the suspension of our activities, the biggest financial loss, which we compensated, as well as a war on European soil with global effect. A leader who brought the African mentality and flavor and criterion and sensitivity into the position, but I can tell you, so each and every one of you over these 4 years in the same light and worked for each and every one of you in the same way. A leader who showed, I must say, and I say this in all consciousness of what I say, is an example for not only future African basketball administrator, but globally, with his commitment and professionalism that I will never forget, that he refused to go back to Mali in the first days of the pandemic and join his family, but stayed in a room, the only operating room of a hotel, alone at the beginning, in order to be close to me, and only to me, because I was the only one in the office as everybody else was working from home. A leader who kept his calm, did not panic, even in the most difficult of moments, when public personal accusations came against him, and he put FIBA first. This FIBA first mentality, this FIBA first approach, even in difficult personal moments, the deep understanding of our governance, and the passing, the mentoring of this understanding to the next generations, I believe, is the biggest legacy of Haman and Yang. All this with the class that we have enjoyed also today, the class of what I call, and he allows me sometimes to call him, a true basketball gentleman. Therefore, with your approval, I hope you will endorse the proposal of the Central Board to award the title of Honorary President of FIBA to Haman Niang. And the special bouquet of flowers will be delivered to Madame Fifi that suffered alongside him these 4 years.
Merci bien, Andreas.
Thank you very much, Andreas.
Je crois que j'ai pas de mots à ajouter.
I would also like to add a few words,
Tellement c'est touchant.
but I must say that
Encore une
your
fois,
words
merci
were
les membres du Congrès
very
d'avoir accepté
touching.
aussi
Thank
la
you also to the
proposition du
members
bureau
of
central.
Congress to accept the proposal
Aux membres
of
du bureau
the
central d'avoir fait cette proposition au
Central
Congrès.
Board.
Merci bien. Ainsi on touche vers la fin donc
So we
de cette belle journée.
come
qui,
to the end
j'espère,
of
va
this
marquer
wonderful day, and I'm sure
les
that this
annales
will
du basketball.
go into the annals of basketball.
Avant de conclure,
But before we conclude,
je rappellerai juste que nous avons le Hall of Fame.
let me just
à
remind you,
18h30,
at
les guides
18:30,
vont
6:30
vous montrer la
p.m.,
salle.
we've got the
À
Hall of
partir de
Fame.
18h30, s'il
So
vous plaît,
as
nous avons
of
la
6:30
cérémonie, donc, du
p.m.,
Hall of Fame
we
aujourd'hui.
have the Hall of Fame ceremony
Je voudrais
today.
juste vous adresser un mot avant de clôturer la séance.
But let me just address a few words to you before I close this session.
À l'ensemble des acteurs de la balle
To all
au
those
panier,
involved in
J'en appelle
basketball,
à
I
votre
appeal
sens
to
élevé
your
de la
strong sense
solidarité et
of
de
solidarity
l'union.
and unity.
Soyons à
Let's
l'image d'une
be
balle de
like a
basketball.
basketball.
Construisons un
Let's
bloc
build
monolithique
a monolithic
de
block
forme ronde
of
et ayant un
round
seul
shape,
objectif,
and let's have a single
passer
objective
dans le panier.
to get through the basket.
Vous connaissez tous
You all
cette
know this ancient
fable
fable.
ancienne du faisceau des baguettes. Prises une à une,
Taken one by
les
one,
plus solides se
the
brisent
sturdiest
facilement,
sticks can
mais
break
liées
easily,
ensemble, elles
but
peuvent
bound
supporter
together, they can
l'effort
withstand
le plus
the most
rigoureux.
vigorous effort.
Il en est de même
The same is
pour toute
true of
organisation.
any organization.
Enfin, je tiens à
Finally, I'd
témoigner
like
ma
to
cordiale
express my
reconnaissance
heartfelt gratitude
à
to
tous
all
ceux qui ont
those who have
contribué à la
contributed
réussite de mon
to the
mandat. Les membres
success
de la
of my
FIBA,
term of office,
les fédérations
FIBA
nationales
members,
que vous êtes,
national
les
federations,
joueurs, les
players,
les
coaches,
entraîneurs, les officiels,
officials,
les bénévoles,
volunteers,
les
partners,
médias,
the media,
et bien sûr,
and,
les fans
of
dévoués
course,
du basketball.
dedicated basketball fans.
C'est grâce à
It is
votre
thanks to
soutien
your
et à votre
support and
engagement que
commitment
nous
that
avons
we've
pu
been able to
réaliser tant
achieve
de
so
choses
much together.
ensemble. À mon
I wish my successor
Cheikh
courage
Al-Thani.
and success,
Je
Sheikh
souhaite beaucoup de
Al-Thani.
courage et de réussite. Il sera
And
à
I'm
la
convinced
hauteur
that
des
he will be
responsabilités qui lui
equal to the
seront.
responsibilities entrusted
J'en
to
suis
him.
convaincu.
I am convinced of that.
Je lui souhaite bonne
I
mission
wish him
et bonne moisson.
a good harvest,
terminer en vous
and I would
offrant
like to
mes plus
conclude by
sincères
offering you my most
remerciements
sincere thanks
pour cette marque
for this
glorieuse
glorious
de
mark
votre
of your
confiance
confidence
et de votre
and
estime.
esteem.
Nous sommes la FIBA,
We are FIBA,
nous sommes le basketball.
we are basketball.
Je vous remercie de votre
Thank
aimable
you very
attention.
much for your attention.
Ainsi clôture
And so we close our 22nd session of the FIBA Congress. I wish you all a good journey home, but most especially to the new members, the elected members, I hope that they have a great 4 years to come. Thank you very much.
Checkmate.
Hey, Jordan, you want some ice cream?
Yeah, I'll take one.
1, 2, 3, 4.
World Cup 2023. Tips off on August 25th.
Nothing else matters.